Hello again everyone, Ageofdune here, and we're back with another League of Legends Shoutcast. Hi Elo, of course, mostly Diamond from last season, so you know it's hi Elo. This particular game was recorded the day that Yasuo here released, so there's a lot of changes in this patch. Decent number of, balance changes, but nothing too huge. Apparently her walk is different, but nothing too huge for her. But all these summoner icons, as you could tell, got changed. This is, I believe, Flash. That one, of course, is Smite, but that one was already changed. That would be Ignite. I believe that is Barrier. And apparently we're into the game right off the bat. Nothing much going on quite yet, obviously, although it's already 30 seconds in, but that's okay. It does look like the blue team's thinking about doing a bit of an invade. Actually, so is the red team. Mundo's down here looking like he wants to go in. By the way, I did... Oh, yep. Definitely looks like the red team's coming around down here possibly for some sort of an invade, which is going to be kind of fun because both teams are actually doing the same. But I actually did decide to go ahead and do this game because of Yasuo here, who's just kind of chilling. Not with his team. But that's okay. He'll go there eventually. Red team is indeed invading. But I wanted to go ahead and see how he plays because he sounds ridiculously cool. I really like the sound of him. I don't know that I'll end up playing him, because honestly, I don't know that he's really my type of champion. He's a little squishy for the way I play. Alright, so the red team looks like they're kind of coming out. They do actually see Yasuo here, and Mundo lands the cleaver on him, and they're actually going in. The pull comes in and pulls Jarvan there, and it looks like these three are actually going after Jarvan, whereas Vayne and Yasuo, the two really squishy members, are currently back here getting attacked. And Mundo's getting really low, but Yasuo's getting really low as well. Down goes the Yasuo, and Vayne got a couple hits off there. A lot of the people on the red team are getting low, but at the same time, one of the people for the blue team's already dead. Syndra went ahead and flashed out. She did manage to go ahead and die there, thanks to Riven. Mundo is ignited. I think he's going to die too. He hasn't died yet, but he's still ignited. Yes, he does end up going down to the Riven, so that is a double kill there. Vayne's doing a bit of harass on the Taric, but everybody else is going to go ahead and escape this, I think. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and escape this. Azingi's going to sit around here, go ahead and start his jungling, make sure they don't get to steal it. I don't really blame him there whatsoever. But Riven and Eve are both here. He does manage to smite it off before she does anything, though, so he's not going to get that. He's going back in on her, though. Thresh came in, tried to land the hook, did not land it, and now Taric's going in on the Thresh. Got the stun off on the Thresh, and Thresh is now trying his best to get out of it. Vayne's on her way up to go ahead and probably stun here. Nope. She has roll. She doesn't have condemn. So there will be no stunning by Vayne. But her coming up there was enough to force them back. One thing is that Mundo here is already top. Whereas Eve, who is the top for the blue team, amusingly, is not up there. And she's going to miss out on a lot there. And we've actually got Yasuo jungling, and Jarvan decided to go ahead and come in for an invade here. So Yasuo's getting pretty low already, but he did manage to dodge that Jarvan flag toss, so he's not dead yet. The bot lane is actually coming up here, so Jarvan has to be fairly cautious here. Riven's coming as well, and now she's going to go in. He flag tosses away, but gets grabbed there by the Thresh. There is no flay yet, so he does not get slowed. But there's the ignite, and Yasuo flashes over and manages to grab that kill. So that ends up being another kill there. Eve is actually almost dead, but so is Mundo. Mundo does manage to take her out, though, and I don't think he's going to die. No, the minions switch off of him. Let's see what happened there. So they just both kind of went all in on each other. A lot of cleavers landed on Eve. She harassed a lot with her Q there, but not quite enough in that final cleaver, plus I believe Ignite. Yes, Ignite did it as well. Was enough to go ahead and finish her off there. So let's go ahead and put everybody into their positions and everything. We've got Eve top, interestingly. My guess would be that somebody thought they were going to be jungling and then ended up not or something. I don't know. And she's going to be versus Mundo. The mid lane, we've got Riven versus Syndra, who, I've always been very fond of. I can't really play her, but I enjoy watching her. Down bottom lane, we've got Vayne versus Lucian. A little bit of an engagement here. The Flay comes out, does manage to slow down the Taric a bit, but they do force the Vayne back, as I think she got a minor nerf? Not too huge, though, but Taric did get a nerf this patch. his shatter doesn't hit as hard anymore. But anyway, we've got Thresh versus Taric, and then Yasuo versus Jarvan for the jungles. And as you can see here, Eve is played by Kelberry, Mundo by You, Kenny I, Syndra is played by Angel, like, yeah, Angel? Yeah, anyway, Riven's played by I See Yo Panties, which is what made me kind of chuckle a little in the loading screen. Ooh, Eve is coming in for a gank, but I think Syndra saw that, so she did go ahead and fall back. She has a ward, but that doesn't really do much versus Eve. But then at the same time, Eve's not jungling, so that doesn't matter anyway. The Vayne is played by Nex Hype. The Lucian by MalXmel, I believe. Or it could be MyXmel with a capital I, but I'm pretty sure it's a MalXmel. The Thresh is played by Eye Color Crimson, and the Taric by Respects. DNG VMan7 is playing Yasuo, and Azingi is playing Jarvan. I actually watched VMan7's stream to get into this game because I saw that he was actually playing Yasuo. He was actually advertising, you know, I'm playing Yasuo today, so I went ahead and watched the stream until he got into a game so I could go ahead and see it, because I really wanted to see him played. We saw a little bit earlier, a little while ago, in the engagement versus Jarvan. A couple harasses there, but nothing yet so far. But we'll go ahead and take a couple looks at him in his engagements later on. Mostly he's just going in the jungle. Jarvan's coming in for a gank, though. Does manage to land on Thresh. Thresh went ahead and jumped out of that with Flash, though. So nobody ends up dying. Yasuo is coming in. We'll take a look top in a moment. The ward comes out from Jarvan. Yasuo was not able to clear that. So it's just going to go back to normal. Let's go ahead and see what happened up here. Mundo landed another cleaver on the Eve. She used that speed boost to get out, but another cleaver comes out and she goes down again. And that is not good at all for her. She's not going to have a good game this game, I think. Which, honestly, given the fact that she's top versus a Mundo, I'm not really surprised with. Riven's doing pretty well versus Syndra so far, though, which is also not all that surprising. Jarvan's coming in for a gank, though, so things might be about to turn on her. She gets stunned by the sphere there from the Syndra, and she's gonna go down. She does indeed go down to that Jarvan. Yasuo's coming in, does the little swoosh swoosh, and just kind of hits Jarvan, but doesn't really do too much to him. But let's go ahead and take a look at Yasuo's abilities while nothing much is happening. No, I wanna... Okay. We'll watch this for the moment, and then we'll go do that. Little engagement here. Thresh landed the hook. There's the flay. They're going in on the Vayne, who's taking quite a bit of damage from this. But they actually did a decent amount to the Lucian as well. But Thresh took a lot too. So the blue team definitely came out behind in that. So let's go ahead and follow him around for a little bit, unless there's some sort of an engagement. Lucian's kind of pressing in, but nothing too big. Alright, so his passive is Way of the Wanderer. Anytime he moves, or moving grants flow, which is tracked on his resource bar. That's what the bar there is, of course. Moving faster grants more flow. At a maximum flow, damage from a champion or monster briefly grants a shield that absorbs 75 damage. So I guess that's why he decided to go ahead and go into the jungle, because while he's moving around, he gets that flow. The next monster he goes and fights will damage him, obviously, if he decides to do so. I guess he's waiting for red to spawn. Yep, there we go. And he goes in, it damages him, and there's that shield, so it does prevent a lot of the damage. Alright. Intent. Yasuo's critical strike chance is doubled, but his critical strikes deal 10% reduced damage. So that is actually pretty huge right there. That, yeah, it doubles his critical strike chance. If you build 50% critical strike on him, he will critical strike every hit. So that's pretty impressive. We're seeing a lot of the Qs there. That's Steel Tempest. He thrusts forward, dealing 60 damage. No. Alright. Dealing 60 plus, you know, AD damage. On hit, it gains a stack of Gathering Storm for 10 seconds. At 2 stacks, it fires a Whirlwind that knocks anybody it hits airborne. It's treated as a basic attack, so it can critically strike, applies on hit effects, and its cooldown and cast time are reduced by attack speed. So that's pretty cool there. The W is Wind Wall. This one sounds ridiculously awesome. Well, the passive is Dash builds an extra 4% of your maximum flow, which doesn't, you know, that's not the part. But the active there, creates a moving wall that blocks all enemy projectiles for 4 seconds. That is it right there. Nothing ranged can go through that. Alright, we'll come back to this in a moment. Stuff is happening down here. Alright, Lucian doing a decent amount of damage. Actually, Vayne's pretty low here. Lucian is sick, so he has his ulti, you know? He does. And there we go. He gets flayed by Thresh, pulled onto the tower, and condemned by Vayne, so he's almost dead. But that Taric was able to go ahead and interrupt the Vayne. And actually, he didn't interrupt him. He did a lot of damage. He got flayed there, and Vayne is getting hurt really low. He flashes out, but he's still really low. And Thresh is chasing. Vayne, however, is not. So Thresh just got stunned there. There we go. There's the flay from him. And... oh, yeah, there we go. Down goes the Lucian. Vayne is now going in on the Taric. I think Taric's going to escape this. He does indeed. And... okay. Syndra was on her way down, but she changed her mind. So that wasn't a bad engagement there. That ended up being a support for an AD carry, which is always a good thing. And we've got them going in on Riven yet again. She flashes out of the ulti, but it was not enough to save her as she ended up going down to the Syndra ulti. Obviously not the Riven ulti as she is a Riven. That would be kind of crazy. Alright, back to Yasuo. His E, Sweeping Blade, that is it right there that he just did. Dashes through target enemy, dealing 70 plus AP magic damage. Each cast increased your next dash's base damage by 25% up to 100%. It's got a really, really low cooldown, 0.5 seconds. But you cannot cast it on the same enemy for 10 seconds. And then finally we've got Last Breath. Dashes to an airborne enemy champion. It has to be airborne or it doesn't work. Hold up. Stuff happening top. Eve is less than half health, so she's definitely having a trouble here. Mundo is also less than half health, but at the same time he's Mundo. So she decides to go in hardcore on him, and he flashes out. That's enough to keep him alive. And, well, because of his ulti there was enough to keep him alive. So that kind of sucked for her. Apparently, Yasuo is actually giving blue buff to Riven, though. If she takes it. Okay, there we go. She does take it and jumps back over that wall to go back to lane. I love that ability. Jumping over that wall is pretty awesome. Alright. Deals 200 damage and holds all airborne enemies in the air for an additional 1 second. That is pretty awesome. It also resets all stacks of Gathering Storm. And then for 15 seconds, he gains 50% bonus armor pen, which, you know, is really strong as well. Also, his abilities have an interaction. The Steel Tempest here, which normally just strikes in a line, if he dashes, it'll actually go ahead and do it in a circle around him instead. So it'll hit everything in a circle. So it's a good way to apply to multiple people at once that are not in a line. I don't think this one has anything special. Oh, there we go. It actually has it in the little green text. Sweeping Blade, if cast while dashing, Steel Tempest will strike as a circle. So this one's that goes in a circle, sorry. And that one, if cast while dashing, Steel Tempest will strike as a circle. Oh. Okay, so I was right. They both just say the same thing, so it has the same text for both. Alright, so Eve is taking a bit of damage again from Mundo, who actually just took a couple tower shots. But we do see Jarvan coming up here for a game. We'll come down there, down to bottom in a moment. Nope, we're going to go there now. Alright, so let's go ahead and see this little engagement. Taric and Lucian, everybody's at full health at the moment. But Yasuo is coming in. He's got that warded, but it doesn't matter because that lantern came in. And there he goes in on the Lucian, manages to take him down. Now they're going in on the Taric. Taric was a little slow, but he went ahead and stunned that Vayne. And Lucian manages to get the double kill there, which is great for them. And Jarvan ended up actually backing off, so he did not end up going for that tower dive that I thought he was going to. But now he's coming over to Riven, who got ulted there, jumps out. And is she going to escape this? She does so far. Is she? Oh, Syndra manages to take her down. I thought she was going to get out of there. Mundo was coming in, but that was okay. Mundo wouldn't have been able to finish her, but Syndra was able to finish her. Blue team got Dragon in the meantime, though. Wait, no they didn't. Hold up. We'll come down to that in a moment. Eve came down from top, saw the Jarvan there. Oh, he came over here. And she said, hi. Got that speed boost and just came in and mopped him up. Mundo is chasing her now, but not going to get her, I think. Down goes the dragon. Mundo's continuing to chase Eve. but I think Eve's going to get out of this. He misses the cleaver there. She's probably walking that way. No, she's walking this way. So she's definitely going to get out of this with no problem. She's going to circle back around and go back up top. So that was a dragon and a kill for the blue team, and in exchange for a death of Riven. So that was definitely worth it. And Eve is actually back to mid, interestingly enough. I don't know if they're going to do a trade here. No, it doesn't look like it. Eve is just going to go ahead and take this CS. One of them. Two of them. 2 CS for Eve. Okay, and then probably go ahead and head back to top. And Yasuo is back in his jungle getting that red buff. Meanwhile, down bottom, these guys are going in on the tower. They've actually done a decent amount of damage to it, really. Riven says, MIA, watch out, and Eve is yet again pressed back to her tower. That is... I do not envy Eve whatsoever. That is a nasty lane. And really, there's nothing that the jungler can do either, because Mundo is so ridiculously tanky. Yasuo could go up there and gank. I don't think he'd be able to finish him off just because of how tanky Mundo is. It would just be a waste of time for him. I mean, it might force Mundo back, maybe. But with his ulti, I don't know that it would, really. But Yasuo's going to go ahead and go back. These guys are just going to chill here. And Eve's going to go back under the tower again. Just kind of clear the waves as much as possible. Make sure he doesn't get too much damage on the tower, although it has gotten really low. Look at the mid towers. That one has a little bit missing, and that one has more. So Syndra's actually done a little bit better there at taking down the tower. But on the plus side, you know, these guys are pushing down, and they've got quite a bit of damage on that. Jarvan's circling around for a possible invade, though, or a possible gank. He does get caught by that ward, but I don't know that's going to be enough. He's probably... Oh, nice condemn by Vayne. He is not going to be able to do anything because of that. That was great. And now we see a Yasuo gank going in, goes in on the Mundo. The cleaver gets blocked, I believe, there. And he's actually getting really low, and he goes down to the Eve. So all that what I was saying about him being too tanky, no. Well, on the other hand, I mean, Yasuo's pretty darn fed. 3-1-2 by this point in the game. So yeah, he managed to pull off that gank. Hold up. And yeah, got the kill for Eve too, which is great. And Riven came down here to go in on Wraiths as it was very pushed up. She does not want to get ganked by Jarvan again, who really doesn't care what she wants. So in goes the Jarvan. Oh, smites that minion. That was mean. And there goes his ulti there. She does have her Q up, I believe, but she's going to go down anyway. So she thought she was going to go ahead and avoid a gank by going to Wraiths, and Jarvan just said, no, you're really not. So she got killed again. Syndra's pretty fed. Not as fed as Yasuo. No, she's not. She's 2-1-3 versus him being 3-1-2. But at the same time, she's got more CS, so gold-wise, it may work out to be about the same. Yeah, she's slightly ahead of him with that, thanks to the CS gold. But in comes the Eve, going in on her as well. Yasuo goes in. I don't think he does not manage to knock her up with the tornado, so she is going to get out of this alive. He didn't even get to use a tornado. But she is forced back at least, which means her tower is going to take a little bit of damage, probably, because Riven's going to get back to lane. She's going to be able to go ahead and farm up the minions there and possibly push the tower unless Jarvan comes in and interrupts. But meanwhile, down bottom, Lucian and Taric have got a tower. That is the first tower kill of the game, and that's because Vayne had to go back. There goes another blue there to Riven. And the ping from red team, oddly, on the bottom tower. I'm not sure why. But we've got another gank going in on Mundo here. Out comes the tornado, just barely misses. In goes the Yasuo. Slows him a little bit, but it's not going to be nearly enough. And no, that's not going to happen. He's trying to get his tornado to come back up again. His Q has one more hit, I think, and then it will. Is there a counter for that? I don't see one. Not that I can see. Oh, that might be it right there. Okay. Nope. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see a counter, but that doesn't mean there's not one there. I've been watching enough. But in comes the Syndra for a gank. Manages to go ahead and ulti down that Yasuo pretty much instantly. Now Eve is trying her best to get away. She does flash out, but Mundo's going to go ahead and go for it. No, he changes his mind. Backs off. In comes Riven, though. There's her ulti. She is jumping in. And not really much is going to happen. She uses her ulti to go ahead and get a little harassed. In goes the Eve again, though. They do manage to force that flash from Mundo. His ulti was already up, so he's going to stay low for a while. Although not all that long, because his ulti cooldown is ridiculously low. But they do force him to walk away. So that's something, at least. Down bottom, we've got Vayne and Thresh in a little bit of trouble here. Vayne is nicely kiting that Lucian ulti, but oh, there we go. Flashes, rolls in, and down goes the Lucian. Taric and Jarvan are both coming for her now. She gets stunned by the Taric. In comes the Jarvan, and she barriers his ability there, but it's not going to be enough. The Thresh Lantern comes out, but she was not able to get to it thanks to that ulti there from Jarvan. So, from what I've heard, Yasuo is really, really strong late game. Apparently he has a weak early game because he is fairly squishy. But once he gets to late game, he's ridiculously nasty. So, given the teams here, we see Yasuo, who has a great late game. We see Vayne, who has a great late game. Riven has a good late game. And Thresh, obviously, has a great late game. Eve, I'm not really sure about her. I mean, her late game's okay, but it's not great. But definitely, I'm thinking the blue team comes out ahead in the late game, if they make it that far. So far, the red team has managed to take down 2 towers, so they may end up not making it. But at the same time, I mean, it's only a 2k gold difference, 2.5. So that is not a huge difference by 18 minutes in. Pink ward there from Taric. He's trying to defend it. That's not going to end up happening. So she manages to take it down. There's another ward from them. And we see the ping from the red team on Dragon here. It is warded, I think, just now by Yasuo. So they know they can't go for it. And they actually ping Vayne and say, let's go kill her. Question is, will they be able to? Nothing else much happening in the other lanes. It looks like Jarvan and Cinder are thinking about coming down here. In goes the Taric, manages to land the stun there. The Flay comes out. In goes Yasuo, though. Vayne is not dead yet. The Tornado comes out. Down goes the Lucian. Now Taric is trying his best to get out. But we see Jarvan coming in as well. There we go. Taric is one shot away. He goes down to the Vayne. In goes the Jarvan, who's actually getting low already. Vayne is life-stealing like mad to get back up. She gets stunned there by the Syndra, but unfortunately for them, Yasuo does not get stunned by Syndra, so he's continuing to chase down here. The flash comes out from the Jarvan, which just barely manages to dodge that ulti there from Riven. And Yasuo jumps in again. It looks like, I'm not sure he'll die. He does not die. But the Syndra ulti did manage to go ahead and finish off Yasuo. So that ended up being a 2-for-1. Definitely in the blue team's favor. But Syndra got another kill, which is great for her. Had they gotten Jarvan, it would have been really worth it, but unfortunately she didn't. Oh, nice grab there from Thresh. Going in, flays her as well. She gets condemned against the wall. She's going to melt instantly. And she actually goes down to Eve, who just got that shutdown gold. So that puts her a whole lot better back in this game. Riven really needs one as well, because she's pretty far behind too. In the meantime, Mundo's down up here, just kind of pushing this top down, getting another tower for his team. They have all 3 outer turrets at the moment, whereas the blue team has nothing. Well, nothing turret-wise, but they do have the dragons so far. They're at 2 dragons, and the red team has no dragons, obviously, because only 2 have spawned. But we'll have to see what ends up happening right now. Mundo is possibly getting engaged on here. Now, he's going in on the raid, and Yasuo manages to kill that. He's going to walk this way, and Eve says hello. He does have that speed, though, so he's going to get out of this with no problem. And these guys are going to go back to just kind of farming and walking away. Jarvan was coming up to assist if need be, but that did not end up happening. And there's a ping on Yasuo here. Stop it! I don't know why it does that. There we go. Jarvan comes in. He gets seen by them, and Eve is now trying her best to get out of this. Ulti comes out from Jarvan. Nice cloud there from Yasuo saying, no, no, you're not going to get to cleaver us. In goes the Riven. The Eve does end up going down to the Mundo, but Mundo goes down to Yasuo, so that's another double kill. Syndra's doing her... I like that ball. She went ahead, tried to stun, but landed the ball on the top of the wall instead, so that didn't end up happening. Yasuo tried to go ahead and stun. Actually, I think he did knock the Lucian up, but it's not going to help. Dashes to Lucian, trying his best to get out, dashes again, and he's actually out of range of them so far, except for Syndra. Syndra can stun this. She's going to go ahead, lands the slow. Lucian ulti is coming out. Almost kills him. If she lands that stun, he's dead. But no, she does not. So he is going to escape this very narrowly with his life. And all of that engagement there gave Vayne plenty of time to go ahead and take down that first tower for that blue team. So that definitely puts them a whole lot closer. They are now 300 gold behind, which is not much at all. Cinder decided to stick around to go in on Riven. Unfortunately for her, there was a cloaked Eve right there too. So as soon as she popped out, Eve came in, and together Eve and Riven were easily able to demolish her. And we've got Thresh pushing up the mid here. And Riven and Eve are actually kind of pushing top. So that has definitely changed things around so that the blue team, or the red team, sorry, is on the defensive now. Those little engagements there kind of hurt. And I think the blue team may end up getting this tower. Riven is going in on it. Eve is kind of hovering around just so that if the Riven does get engaged on, she can be here to help. The red team does not even know it. There we go. She's going to hold off in that bush, and there we go. In she goes onto him, manages to land the stun. In goes the Eve, going in. They're actually going in on Taric now. The ulti comes out from Riven. Eve got Lucian really low. He went ahead and buried, though, so he is going to live through this. Jarvan coming in from behind, and in goes the Jarvan. There we go, going in on the Riven there. Uses his ulti, kills her right off the bat. And now Eve is going in. Got stunned there by Taric, though, so she's going to go down as well, this time to Lucian. But down bottom, we've got Vayne going in on Mundo. Not sure how that exactly happened. Oh, wow. Yasuo was there. Okay, let's go back a little further then. Okay, so Yasuo was just kind of chilling down here. And Thresh wasn't even close. But he's going in on Yasuo, doing quite a bit of damage to him, actually. And Yasuo's doing his best, but in comes the Thresh because he noticed that Yasuo was taking a lot of damage. There comes the dash from Yasuo, trying to get out of this. But he gets hit with that cleaver there, but oh, nice. He went ahead and launched his tornado there to knock him up, and then used his ulti to get back in so that he could lock him up even more. But he ends up going down because of the flash there from Mundo. Flashes over to kill him. Mundo's going in on the Thresh now, and Vayne is coming in from behind. Thresh is doing his best to get to him, but he goes down to Mundo, and now Vayne is going in. And I think Vayne ends up getting this, would be my guess. But she gets slowed there, flashes over, and he's not dead yet. There we go, down he goes at last. But he did a lot of damage before going down there. So that has definitely swung it. Well, it didn't completely... No, never mind. It did swing it back into the favor of the red team. They are now... not very far ahead. I mean, 1.5k. So, I mean, 1.5k is decent, but it's not all that... Nothing much to talk about at 23 minutes into the game. It's still going to be a very close game here. Kill-wise, 1 kill off. The towers are pretty huge for the red team, but the dragons are huge for the blue team as well, which I think should be spawning soon-ish. Yep, there we go. 2 minutes from now. I thought the timer was going to show up fairly soon. And I'm just going to go ahead and farm this. So, a little while from now, we'll see another attempt at dragon. We'll see if it ends up going again to the blue team, or whether the red team manages to get it this time. Ooh. Second there, I think she had to roll away from a stun from Syndra, but I'm not completely certain. So the red team does have a decent amount of CC. They've got the stuns there from Syndra, they've got stun from Taric, they've got slows from Mundo, and they've got that ulti there from Jarvan. So they could definitely do pretty well keeping Lucian alive. But we'll see if it ends up working out that way. Eve is up top, pushing that up. She's going to go ahead and try to do some damage to the tower. I think the minions are going to get there slightly too late, though. They do indeed. They do a little bit of damage, but that's not really worth talking about even. And Jarvan's up there to go ahead and fend it off anyway. So he is going to force it back. Mundo's going back from down bottom. Just kind of pushed up the stuff so that Riven can go in. But we've got a huge engagement down here, which I was talking through. Alright. So there we go. I did see all of this. Looking at the mini-map instead of at the main map. There we go. Lucian going in on Thresh. Out comes the Taric with his stun. Nice dodge there by Lucian from that Q. And the slow comes out from Syndra. And Thresh just melted there. In comes the Eve, though. And down goes the Syndra. Lucian ulti's doing a lot of damage. Eve flashes out. I think she's still going to go down to Ignite, though. She does indeed, and the Cinder gets that kill. So that ends up being a 2 for 1 so far. Vayne is now going in on Jarvan, but Jarvan jumps over that wall, and he's going to get out of this with no problem. Lucian is so low, though. If he sticks around, they may end up tower diving this as soon as Riven gets there. No, he's going to go ahead and fall back. But this does mean that the blue team is almost definitely going to get this tower. And the red team's not going to be able to defend it with what they have. There's a lot of damage here. In goes the Jarvan, ults the Vayne, down goes that tower. I was right about that, but there are 4 members of the red team here because Lucian went ahead and lifestole back up. Vayne's getting pretty low here. She's doing her best to kite, but she's going down really fast to Mundo. Mundo's getting low as well, but he eats Mundo. He's ridiculously tanky. Down goes Yasuo to Mundo as well. Riven's now trying to get out. And we'll see if she does end up making it. She jumps out so far, uses those dash to the best of her ability, but the slow comes out from Mundo, and she does end up going down. And the pinks come out on Baron. So it looks like the red team's going to go ahead and try this Baron. It's not even all that risky, really, with most of the blue team being dead. So they are indeed going in on it here. And Lucian's here. Everybody's going. They're not really knocking it down very fast. Well, never mind. They are. I might have mistaken that. And down it goes. Syndra went ahead, went in. She's going to go down to the Eve and Thresh combo. Nice Lantern by Thresh means Eve is going to escape this with no problem. So they end up getting a kill for it. And that does mean that Syndra is not going to have that Baron buff. But red team still got the Baron. And that is very bad news for the blue team. And it looks like the red team may actually get this dragon. They're going in on it now. Those health bars look abnormally large. And the ulti comes out from Lucian to take this down even faster. It does indeed end up going down. So that is the first dragon of the game for the red team. And that's the first dragon of the game that the blue team did not get. Are they going to get... I don't think they're going to get him, no. Now they see, oh, it's gone. This sucks. I wonder, are they going to go in on the Mundo down here? I can't see them doing that. It did not turn out well for them last time when it was these exact 2. But Eve is coming up as well. And Yasuo's not following, so going in on that would be a bad idea. No, she's going to go ahead and fall back, and he's going to get out of that with no problem at all. Unsurprising. Darn sneaky Eve. She's kind of annoying to play against. But I was laughing because she got hit by that Q from Lucian. I don't even think he meant it, obviously. But it ended up taking her out of stealth. So it was a nice lucky Q there from him. This top tower is still standing. It's got just a couple of hits. And then it'll be dead. But they have not managed to go ahead and take it down yet. They've got all the other outer turrets down. But at the same time, red team has all the outer turrets down. Plus one of the inner turrets. So blue team needs to get those towers down so they can go ahead and close this gold gap. They are now almost 6k behind. And that is not a good position to be in. Mundo is actually going to go ahead and dive this. The stun comes out from Riven. Vayne is now ulted by Jarvan. She's trying her best to get out. She goes down to Lucian. Thresh is in here, flaying them under the tower, but Mundo's tanking it, so he's not having a problem. Out comes the Lucian ulti. Down goes the Thresh to that Lucian ulti. Yasuo does manage to get that tower top that I was talking about, but in this case it was really not worth it, as Lucian just got a triple kill. Yasuo's going to continue pushing here, as he knows that he and Vayne are not going to be able to defend this alone. Vayne actually is going to take down Syndra. Syndra overstayed her welcome. She was a little too low or something, right? I take it? Let's see. Well, she could have made it out of this with no problem, but she decided to stick here, and in goes the Eve, and just instantly burst her down. There was nothing they could do to save her. She was just bursted down too fast. She used her Zanya's, but even that wasn't enough. So Eve does manage to kill her, but the red team is still continuing to push this. They're going to get the inhibitor. I don't know that they're going to get much else. They're going to go ahead and back off. Yeah, they are pinging Yasuo saying, hey, watch out. He is getting this. So he did manage to get that tower, and it looks like he's going to continue to push here. They are going to go back to try to stop him, and I think they're probably going to be able to stop him too. I can't see him sticking around for too long after he shows up. The wind comes out, but that's not really going to do too much. And he's actually sticking around on this tower and ends up going down for it. Tarek comes in for the stun, and it ends up killing him. Lucian's coming in, going in on the Vayne. Vayne got shielded by Thresh, but she's still getting really low. The barrier pops out to go ahead and offset the ignite. I'm not sure it's going to be enough. She goes down, and it was not indeed enough. The Thresh goes down as well to the Mundo. Eve and Riven are kind of trying to do this. No, Riven's going to go ahead and turn on Lucian, which I do not blame her whatsoever. That is definitely a good move, but he has a red buff. So she's going to go ahead and start jumping to him. Manages to land the stun there. Her ulti comes out, but in goes the Taric, and she gets stunned, and she goes down. So Eve's getting really low here, but I think she is going to get out of this. Okay, so she's the only one who got out of this. And for a while there, it looked like the blue team was going to turn this around, but the red team turned it right back around, and they have completely dominated these last few minutes. Every engagement went well in their favor, and it's not even a factor of, team fights, because they're not doing team fights. In large part, they're getting caught out, and they're not doing a 5 versus 5 team fight. In goes the Yasuo, going in on the Mundo. Down he goes almost instantaneously. And Thresh came out there. In goes the Eve on Mundo. He has his ulti up though, so he's not going to go down. Jarvan may end up going down. He tried to get out of this but got condemned against the wall, so he does end up going down. But there was a lot blown on Mundo there, and it didn't get a kill. I know Eve blew at least her ulti there. I think she blew... Does she have Deathfire? She doesn't have Deathfire, but she does have Morello Namicon, so she did blow that on him. But it's got a really low cooldown anyway. And apparently we're going to look at Syndra now, which is fine. So Vayne's going to come down here, get some farm. Hopefully that'll get her back in this game. At least that's what she's thinking. Which, is possible. It is Vayne. I mean, Vayne, once she gets that massive farm, she can do really well. What the heck is going on? Are they playing with the Wraith? That's kind of a crummy thing to do. They are. That's actually kind of funny, though. They are just torturing this poor little Wraith. It's like, oh my gosh, no. Oh, they are kiting it. They're not kiting it. They're just yoinking it all the way over here. Out comes the stun again. Nope, no stun this time. And it's like, help me, mommy, help me. That poor Wraith. They got it all the way over to the enemy blue buff. That was kind of hilarious. For no better reason than just because they could. Alright, so it looks like the blue team here is thinking about going in on Lucian. They think it might be a bait, though, and it is indeed a bait. Out comes Syndra. Yasuo was going back and is now not. Eve tried to go ahead and burst this down. Did not end up happening thanks to the Taric stun there. So down went the Eve, and we're going to go ahead and follow Yasuo this time as we see him die as well. He was almost back, and he got interrupted there. He goes in on the Lucian, and Lucian just says, no, I'm Lucian, and kites him. The wind wall actually got out of position there. It was really close to him and immediately went past him, so it stopped blocking his attacks. He almost killed him, and had that wind wall not stopped blocking the attacks, he would have managed to kill him. But it didn't end up happening, thanks to the fact that it went past Lucian, which has got to be very unpleasant for Yasuo. Mundo Vayne going in, doing a little fighting down here, but Mundo tanky. Mundo go where he pleases, and Vayne does not get to stop him. And in comes the rest of the red team, going in on Vayne. She goes ahead, ults, and Q's away. Nice flash there, so she did get out of this. Out comes the Thresh stun. Oh, in comes Lucian. The ulti manages to just burst down the rest of that Vayne's life. Riven's trying to get out. She's going to go down as well. Thresh is just kind of stuck under the tower. He's not going to be able to go down. Mundo is tanking that tower like a boss. And the red team says, okay, well, they're not going to be able to defend this. Let's go for the towers. And they are indeed going for the towers. Down goes the first tower. Oh, the inhibitor respawned. Nice. So the tower did not go down. It was about half a second from going down, but the inhibitor respawned. And the ulti, or the wall comes out from Yasuo, blocking all those auto attacks on that tower. Down it goes anyway, though. Eve is getting really low, but she's not dead yet. Red team is still pushing here. Down goes Yasuo, and it looks like this is going to end up being GG. Red team is going in on this tower, and they're now going in on the Nexus. I'm kind of curious, though, because if we look at the timer, it doesn't mean it's over. So does that mean they're not about to end this? Seriously? Yeah, they're not. Out comes the blue team, which just respawned. They are now going in on this. Like, you know what? Let's just go back. Let's just go back. Down goes that tower. Vayne came in. She's getting really low here. And, oh, the Thresh pull there. Got that Lucian under that tower, and he just melted there. In comes the Eve. Down goes the Jarvan. They're going in on the Taric, who's going really low. And they're going in on the Syndra. She goes ahead and uses her Hourglass there. Riven takes down the Taric. Cinder's going to go down as soon as she comes back up. Down she goes. Mundo is the only one left. And this game's going to continue. I thought for sure this game was over, but it's still got quite a while left. So, Red Team did not manage to close out there. They were really close. And honestly, I think had they gone for the Nexus instead of getting greedy and going for the people here, they actually may have ended. You know what? Let's see. I want to see. Let's see. With the 4 of them here, down goes the tower. Okay, blue team respawned right here. I think they actually could have gone ahead and burst down that Nexus before the blue team was able to react too much. But it didn't end up happening, and they just ended up dying for it. Mundo's still running away. Okay, we're back up to where we were before. He's using those cleavers to go ahead and try to escape. And he's just kind of walking off. Red team went ahead and pinged up the Baron there. In they go on that Mundo. He gets flayed. He gets stunned. He flashes over the wall. Wolves are chasing after him. He has that speed boost, so he's running fast to get out of this. Gets hit by the Vayne. He's actually chasing her now. And she condemns him away. And in goes the Thresh onto him. Gets the flay off. In goes Riven. Stuns him. And there we go. Mundo is now trapped in the box. There he gets slowed. Flay misses, but Riven manages to go ahead and stun him anyway, so down he goes. He got a little cocky there. He should have kept running with the 3 of them there. So he goes down, and now that means the blue team's going to go ahead and go in on this Baron, and they're going to go ahead and take it down. Down it goes indeed, so that is a Baron kill for the blue team. Blue team has yet again somewhat turned this around. They're still 8k behind. So it's by no means a victory for them. And the minions are going in on their Nexus here, so they need to get back fast to go ahead and take down these minions. Their minions respawn, but they're not going to be able to do any other objectives out on the map because they've got to defend their Nexus here. Yep. There is a big wave of minions pushing up here, but they're not going to get reinforcements anytime soon. Although on the other hand, I mean, there is a, like I said, there's a huge wave. They may actually be able to take down this wave without any problem. Red team got the dragon there, and yeah, I'm definitely thinking that the minion wave here can go ahead and take this down. Down goes those minions. Yeah, the overwhelming numbers here. And now there's a minion wave coming up from the blue team anyway, but it doesn't matter because Mundo's coming up to kill it. Such a jerk. Those poor minions. What did they do to you? Yasuo got caught there by Jarvan. Ulti comes out. He flashes over that. Oh, nice. Oh my gosh. Let's take a look at that right there. That is the strength there of Yasuo. Watch this play right here. Alright, sorry about that. Unfortunately, right there, my computer decided to go ahead and run out of disk space and not tell me. So I spent the entire rest of the game casting it with it not being recorded. But that's okay, because we can go ahead and watch that play and the rest of the game anyway. Okay, so right here, we've got Yasuo coming in. There's the ulti there from the Jarvan. Goes in, Yasuo's sitting there, he dashes out of the wall. Alright, so right there he puts up that wall. She has all the balls here, and she's like, I'm gonna kill you. Lucian's completely blocked by this. Then you see the ulti. Boom, 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 boom. No, it just hits the wall. Completely negates her entire ulti, and it completely negates Lucian this entire time. Now Yasuo comes out of the wall, and you see how much damage that did. Lucian just almost would have killed him. So had that damage not been going in on him had the damage been going in on him the whole time, Yasuo would have died long ago, and that would have gone way different. But because of that wall, it did not. So now we see them continuing to chase her down. We've got them chasing down the Taric. I'm not sure if I already said this or not. If so, I'm sorry. And down goes the Syndra. The blue team just managed to get almost an ace. Mundo is the only one left up, and then the blue team says, let's go for the Nexus. They are all alive except for Yasuo, and they really have no reason whatsoever to go for that, to not go for the Nexus. There we go. Down go the minions. They are pushing this hard. Mundo's not going to be able to defend this alone. There is no way. I mean, he's Mundo, but he's not that tanky. So there they go. They're going to go in on this tower. It is just melting fast. Down it goes. They're going to continue pushing here. Mundo yet again going to be forced to fall back. Jarvan is up in 5. So this team has to get through here really fast. They're going to take down that tower. They're going to go in the inhibitor now as well. And the inhibitor is just going to instantly melt. And now they just say back. Let's get out of here. Their team is coming back up. We don't want to engage on this. And Mundo's trying his best to go ahead and take down the Riven, but she's dodging those cleavers like a boss. And in comes the Lantern. She gets out with no problem. And the purple team is just kind of left reeling there. Eve's going to go ahead and go around this way, and they're going to escape. They're going to be fine. Purple team's coming down. They know that their inhibitor's now down. The blue team has their inhibitor back up. They don't want to let this happen. They're going to go ahead and ping that, and they say, let's go get that right now. Yasuo's on his way back. He's coming in here. And now we see Thresh coming out to possibly defend it. And we see Eve coming in as well. The entire team's here except for Riven. In goes the Eve here. We see her coming around. She comes in a little bit here. Gonna go ahead, ulti the entire team right there. There we go. And now the blue team says, oh, we're engaging. The stun comes out from Tarek. She has a shield. She's okay right now. In goes Yasuo. There goes another wall. This completely blocks that stun there from Syndra. And yet again, Lucian is on the other side of that wall ultiing. He's doing nothing right now. Nothing whatsoever. His ulti is not doing anything. The blue team's just ripping the purple team apart while he's not able to do anything. He started auto-attacking after it was done. It did nothing. He was on the other side of the wall. Syndra went ahead, tried to burst Vayne, but Vayne ended up being okay. She's going in, doing a lot of damage to Jarvan. Jarvan ult comes out, lands on her, but she flashes out, and she is just bursting Jarvan down fast. The Riven takes down the Mundo, and their Vayne takes down the Jarvan. Down goes the Syndra to the Riven. Yes. Yes. Yes, down he goes. In the meantime, let's follow Yasuo here. That was amazing, though. This right here. Stun comes out. Yasuo comes in. And this team fight completely changes around. That stun does nothing. That is amazing. Yeah. That is just great. Alright, let's go ahead and follow Yasuo this time. Yasuo's on this side. Gonna go ahead and land that stun there on Lucian, and then he follows that up with his ulti. Did a lot of damage really fast. Lucian jumps out though, going in on the Yasuo. Auto attacks are doing a lot of damage. The stun comes out from Tarek. Yasuo's almost dead. And he flashes over to try to finish off the Lucian. Twirls in a circle, does not end up happening. Lucian ends up escaping this so far, but it's still a 4 versus 2 now. Riven is now chasing. She's going to go ahead, follow the Tarek here, gets that pop-up off. Tarek is stunned. We can follow this on bolt. The Flay comes out from Thresh. He pulls the Eve in, and now down goes the Lucian. The blue team's going to go ahead and ping this. The purple team can't do anything now. They're all dead for another 40 seconds. The blue team has 40 seconds to get up there and finish off that Nexus. They're going to go ahead and just burst down these minions fast, hoping their minions are going to get there in time to tank the tower. It's not going to happen. But they're going to get there. They're going to have to tank it, or they're going to have to back off. And they do indeed decide to go ahead and tank it. There we go. Eve is currently tanking it. She backs off. Now Riven is tanking both. She's Riven. She's tanking. They're going to go ahead and take this Nexus turret down. Take the next Nexus turret down. Vayne's actually tanking this one. Down it goes, and down goes the Nexus. Honestly, in large part, I think a lot of this was caused by those 2 Lucian plays. That one down there that I, bugged out on. And then this one right here, which was just so amazing. It was just so ridiculously amazing. This champion is going to be really interesting to play with. There we go. Going in, and then that wall again comes out, negates damage from both of these guys at once. Syndra does work her way around, but by that time a lot of her damage is gone. And Lucian was completely useless that entire fight. He was doing nothing. And now he's being zoned by Yasuo, so he spent that entire fight doing nothing. And it's not even his fault. It was all that wind wall. He was able to shut down completely 2 champions at once. And really, that ended up giving them the game. Twice he was able to do that, and that is just amazing. So, yeah, nice speed boost. But yeah, anyway, I am definitely looking forward to seeing Yasuo on my team. Not so much on the enemy team. I think it's going to be really nasty. He may end up being slightly overpowered, but I don't know. I mean, he's got that weak early game. You may be able to shut him down. I really don't know. But either way, I think that I'm going to enjoy seeing this champion because he is definitely a strong champion, and honestly, he's really fun to watch. Those walls were awesome, and I really enjoyed watching them. I hope you guys did as well. So that is going to be the end of this video, end of this game. Multiple turnarounds here, multiple back and forth, and it all hinged, in my opinion, in large part on a couple of Yasuo walls. So I hope you guys enjoyed this game. I know I did. I shall see you guys next time. Have a good night. Bye.